Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Songs on Air with me, Russell Neal, on Radio Northern Beaches 88.7 and 90.3 FM. In this show, I interview songwriters and we talk about their songs and the songwriting process and music generally. And today I have in the studio with me Roger Dilernia. Welcome, Roger.
Hi, how are you, Russell?
I'm okay, thank you. Would you like to tell the listeners a little bit about yourself?
Okay. I've been writing since the early 70s. I was first in a punk band back then called Doris Deaf. After 50 years, someone decided to release a record of that, which is still amazing me. But after that, I had my own bands where I did covers and a few of my songs. Then I did 20 years of acting where I did 5 years of Shakespeare. Then I spent, the next 15 years doing television and film. And then after my wife died tragically of cancer in 2011, I was invited to a party where they were having a jam and I started playing and all the young people at the party said, "Wow, you're really great."
Mhm.
And I thought, maybe I have improved over these years because I actually hadn't touched the guitar nearly in 20 years. But then I started writing and recording songs and I was still in some cover bands, and then I got divorced. And once I got divorced from my second wife, I started writing more and more songs. And I thought, well, I'm not getting any younger, and I really want to get these songs out there. So I started performing them a few, and I've been doing lots of open mics and primarily doing my own songs and making singles and EPs and things like that.
All right, fantastic. That's a great outline of your musical history. What first got you into playing music? You said the punk era, was it?
Well, no, actually, like I grew up in the 60s and my father took me to see the Beatles in King's Cross and I waved to them. I was very enthusiastic. I wasn't a well boy because I had a hole in my heart when I was born. So I was the first person to have an open heart operation.
Mm.
And I was told not to do any sort of strenuous sports. So I couldn't play football, I couldn't do sport, couldn't do anything. And the only thing that was left to me was drawing and music. So by the time I got to 12, I was playing proficiently and winning competitions and started playing on stage at school events and also writing comedy bits as well. So that's how I got into it. And then I got a friend of mine asked me to join his band. He went on to become a session musician. He plays with a lot of people and with Mike Whitney
Mm.
and a couple other people. And his name's Raymond Nosti. He auditioned me. I went in his band and then after that, the rest I've told you, I ended up forming a punk band because I could see punk was coming, but I was still 2, 3 years ahead of everyone else, which isn't good.
Mm.
Because there was only us and Radio Birdman at that stage, and no one really understood what we were trying to do. But I think the rest of the world caught up later on.
Yeah, well, Australia was quite in the lead with punk music with Radio Birdman and also the Saints.
Yes, Saints, I saw them too. Oh, great band.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a punk scene, but people talk about it now in glowing terms. But I remember there's only about 400 of us in Sydney that actually followed it.
Mm.
Compared to the other bands that were around, like Sherbet and other people like that, there was thousands of fans.
Mm.
It was only a very small contingency, mainly in the city
Mm.
and mainly at the venue, the Funhouse in Oxford Street.
Yes, yes, great times back then.
Fun times.
And you said you were writing songs back then?
Oh, yeah. I started writing songs back then. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Found a folder the other day. It must have been an inch and a half thick with all these different lyrics for songs. I kind of wrote the lyrics and then I just couldn't think of what music went with it. But now I can sort of write the lyrics and I instinctively know what sort of music goes with those lyrics.
Mm.
I saw Elton John talk about this once when Bernie would give him a song. Bernie Taupin, the guy who writes the lyrics, he said,
Mm.
okay, Tiny Dancer, okay, this is going to be very light. It's going to be
Mm-hmm.
classical. It's going to be that. And I kind of got to that stage where I get the lyrics and go, okay, this is a blues type song. This is a rocky song. This is
Mm.
a jazzier song. And so I seem to know now and I can quickly put them together
Mm.
very fast now. I could come up with a song like in half an hour and get it pretty much complete.
Mm-hmm. So you were writing back then, but you didn't start recording any of those songs until much more recently?
No, I started recording in 1984.
Right.
But actually, I started doing stuff even in the 70s, late 79. I had a bass player, which we wrote a few songs and recorded a few. And then 84, I did 9 tracks with a band called The Upbeat, and they recorded one of my songs, which I'm doing now. At the moment, I've just re-released it and redid it. So they were primarily original band too. They were sort of doing 80% original songs and 20% covers. And that's why I joined them, because I wanted to be in a band where we wrote our own songs. But that didn't last for very long. And then after that, I started... I was married and starting to settle down, and then I got back into acting because I did a little bit when I was young. And I set myself a goal. I said if I could do Shakespeare well, really well, then I'll keep at it. And I did do it very well. Had reviews in the newspapers, and they said I was very good at doing that. So I decided to stick with it for 20 years. But it's a very hard game playing. It's like music. It's very hard. You could be doing it for 20 years and can still see no success.
Yes, there's some similarities really in the acting game to music. There's an awful lot of people out there that want to do it, but only a small percentage of them get really successful.
I heard 1%.
1%, yeah.
Which is very small.
Yeah, and there's a lot of factors other than talent involved there, isn't it? It's just...
dumb luck,
yeah,
looks, being at the right place at the right time with the right music and the right everything. It's just... I got into Heartbreak High for 3 years because I was ethnic looking, but it didn't help me. I got one gig once on Home and Away and one on GP and one on another show, but they were looking for more Anglo-Saxon looks.
Okay.
And you can't change the way you look, so that's just about it.
No, not really. Yeah, you can change your haircut or whatever, grow a beard or whatever, but yeah.
That's about it.
That's about it, yeah. You said you sort of started recording and writing again after your first wife passed away.
Well, after my first wife passed away, I started writing and recording. And yeah, I even had a band after that. But my second wife was not very supportive in that. And she made me leave the band, and she didn't want me to do music. And anyway, but my new partner has been very supportive. She's my muse, basically. I've written so many songs about her, but she inspires me, and she also tells me to go out there and do it because she really thinks I've got something. And it's nice to have that sort of support.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because I think as musicians or as artists, we need some sort of recognition from someone that understands us and believes in us.
Definitely.
And it's so helpful, I think.
Yeah. And if the person that you love doesn't support you, that makes life very difficult, doesn't it?
Very difficult. I've talked to musicians who've also gotten divorced, and they said that was the one thing they all seem to have in common. Their wives weren't very supportive. They didn't seem to understand how important music is. To me, music's it's like my life. But I've been collecting records since I was 11, and I'm still collecting records to this day. And I still like learning something new and learning about a new artist, someone that I've never heard of. There's still so much stuff out there that I haven't heard, but I think more you hear, the better informed you are as a musician and as a songwriter. So it all helps.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Now, I think we should listen to one of your songs, and then we can talk maybe a little bit about other influences and stuff like that.
Yeah. Which one are you going to play?
Well, which one would you like us to play first?
I think my favorite is the song I wrote about my late wife. It's called Missing You.
Okay, well, let's listen to Missing You by Roger Dilernia.
I see misfortune had so much pain. I know it will go away. The sun comes up, the sun goes down, but you're still not around. I miss you and the fun we had. I miss you when you held my hand. I miss you and the times we had. I'm missing you. There was so much I learned from you. You lived your life in total grace, with that lovely smile upon your face. Your life was short, but you lived it today, going hard with a gentle word. You touched my whole damn world, you see. I miss you and the fun we had. I miss you. Hold my hand. I miss you and the love we had. I'm missing you. You're gone, but you're by my side. You're in my heart, you'll never die. The sun comes up, the sun goes down, but you're still not around. Da 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 da. You taught me how to live my life with love and compassion and open heart. You kept a light burning bright. You never worried about the things you know you cannot change or make them go. What goes up must come down, but you're still not around. I miss you and the fun we had. I miss you when they held me tight. I miss you and the fun we had. I'm missing you. Misfortune, I've had so much pain. I know it will go away. The sun comes up, the sun goes down, but you're not still around. Miss you and the fun we had. I miss you when you held me tight. Miss you and the love we had. I'm missing you.
That was Missing You by Roger Dilernia. Who played all the instruments on that track, Roger?
Basically, in my studio, I can play rhythm, lead, bass. I can play one-handed keyboard, which means I have all the letters on the keyboard, and I know the scale, so I can work out, okay, this is the scale. This would go nicely underneath of this. Put some violins, and then if I'm really excited, I might put some drums on with my finger, and I have a bass drum and tom and snare, and I can put the drums on myself. So I do everything by myself in the studio. No help. It's sometimes really hard because I like to have a bit of feedback from someone else, but my girlfriend just says, well, I'm not a professional, so I can't advise you. And so I kind of think, should I take less echo on this or that? And it's tricky doing your own recording because you got to be your own writer, performer, and producer, and they're really three different hats, I think.
Definitely. And you've got to be your own second opinion too, because you need someone to bounce it off a lot of the time.
I know.
Is that too much reverb or not enough, or what? Yeah.
And then I say, are those lyrics a bit too harsh? Are they too? And so I sort of come to this conclusion. Look, if it's good enough for you, it's good enough. And you don't need to make anyone happy except yourself. And I don't have any record company to worry about. I don't have to worry about public opinion. I just do what I think's the best I can do with each song, what I'm addressing at that time. And I've done a lot of love songs. I've done some anti-love or songs that are about when love goes bad. And I've written some protest songs, and you haven't heard any of those, but I've done one on peace in Gaza. I did a song that I haven't quite finished about the fires in LA and about climate change and Trump not actually believing in climate change. And that doesn't help when you have a president that doesn't believe in vaccines and climate change. And I think that's a sentiment from a lot of people. I think we're all frightened of making those things public sometimes, but John Lennon was my biggest influence because he wrote songs about love, about how things go wrong. He also wrote songs about what he felt strongly about, like the song about Ireland, The Luck of the Irish, and Give Peace a Chance. He wasn't afraid to hit the hard issues, which I think most artists don't. I think they play it safe. I thought Bruce Springsteen and Taylor Swift have been very brave recently, but really, I think it's our job to actually say something as a songwriter, because I think a songwriter is the unspoken voice of the people, how they feel collectively. And I think a good song can bring a lot of people together, like Give Peace a Chance with the Vietnam War. That was such an important song. And power to the people. And I think a lot of people didn't like John Lennon because he was like that, but I loved him even more because I thought he was never afraid, and he spoke from the heart. And I think that's another thing a songwriter should do. You've got to really talk from the heart. It has to be a really honest approach, because when you do that, it touches people honestly. And that's what happened with that song, Missing You. I've had lots of people come up to me saying, that was beautiful. You made me cry. And people can relate to loss. And it's funny, when we lose someone, we know they're not there, but we're also missing the times we had with them and how we felt with them. And I think I tried to express that in the song, and I think I did it well. And a lot of people have told me they loved it. So I think I did the right thing and it worked well. I'm always wondering, because I don't have anyone else to fall back on. I just go out there and perform them now. And that's the only way I'm getting real feedback.
All right. Well, folks, if you want to give feedback to Roger's songs, I have a Facebook page, Songs on Air, and you're welcome to put postings and comments in there about this. I'll be listing this interview in the comments for the Songs on Air page once I've finished editing it. Okay, let's listen to another one of your songs, Roger. What else would you like us to hear?
The Time I Spent With You.
Okay.
That one's about my new partner. I thought, wouldn't it be lovely to have a time machine and be able to go back to those wonderful times? You have those wonderful days with your partner and you're going to go, it was so magical. I wish I could relive it. And that's what that song's about, wanting to relive those magical times that you're with your partner. Nothing to do with washing dishes.
Fair enough. Okay, folks, this is The Time I Spent With You by Roger Dilernia.
If I had a time machine, I'd go back to the time I met you. Yeah, you. I would like to relive the best days of my life with you. Yeah, with you. If I lived 1,000 years, I want to live them with you. You brought me so much joy and happiness. Happiness. I never knew things could be as good as this, you bet. Yeah, you bet. I never knew such bliss was in your kiss. A kiss. I'm loving you. I'm loving you. When the sun goes down, there's silence all around. I knew all the things you said were true. They were true. You never lied to me, and I never lied to you. That's true. Oh, that's true. Sometimes the truth is hard to say, lies get in the way. But not with you. I opened my heart and told you how I felt for you. For you. We played no games. That's true. I'm loving you. If you could make time stand still, I'd spend every moment with you. Yes, that's true, with you. Every moment with you. Every moment with you.
All right, that was The Time I Spent With You with Roger Dilernia. And like the previous track, you recorded all of that yourself?
Yes, I did that all myself.
Beautiful stuff. Well, one question is, where can people listen to your stuff aside from on this radio show?
You can listen to my stuff on my SoundCloud page, which is Roger Dilernia.
Mm-hmm.
And I also have a page on YouTube where I make film clips, and on YouTube it's called The Home of Roger D's Music.
Mm-hmm.
So far that's where I'm placing them all. But I'm hoping to go onto other platforms. So I have a record shop that's selling my CDs and my record. That's Juice Records in Janelli.
Okay. Is that the one just opposite Skeeter's?
That's the one that's opposite the train station.
Okay.
I think it's called Source Records, actually.
Source Records. Okay.
Yeah, Source. I think they're selling my CDs and records.
Very cool. All right. And Roger does play at Skeeter's at Janelli and at my other gigs, the Dunkirk in Piedmont on a Monday night.
Oh, yes. I love playing there.
Yeah, so if you want to see Roger play, just check out my newsletter. Email me at songsonstage@gmail.com to get on the mailing list for my weekly newsletter, which will tell you all about where Roger and lots of other fabulous songwriters are performing at gigs around Sydney. And you're listening to Radio Northern Beaches 88.7 and 90.3. This show's called Songs on Air, and my name's Russell Neal, and I'm interviewing Roger Dilernia, a great Sydney-based singer-songwriter and performer. And also actor and recording engineer. And yeah, what else do? You do videos as well, don't you?
Yeah, I'm a photographer as well. I used to be a rock photographer for Ram magazine.
All right.
Back in the days. So I've been a rock photographer, I've been a real estate photographer, and I've also been making lots of film clips for my friends.
Mm-hmm.
I'm obviously filming my own performances, but if I see someone that's doing something original and I think it's great, I try to help them out by making a film clip for them at no cost. It's just me trying to do something positive and good for other songwriters. It's important, I think, that artists should support other artists because it's a small community and 99% of us are pretty broke. So it's nice when someone does something for someone else at no cost.
Oh, indeed. You just do stuff to help people, don't you?
Yeah, I know. Maybe I've got a bit of a Buddhist background, and I just think it's wonderful to do good stuff for people, because when you do good stuff, it makes you feel great. And I think you get some good karma out of it. So it works well. Yeah, it's just a good thing. It should be a circular thing that keeps going around. People should be trying to help other people, be a nicer world.
Indeed. Yes, I agree with that entirely. All right. Well, how about another song? What else would you like to play?
Well, I'd like to play a really serious song that I just recorded this week.
Right.
Now, I've been suffering post-traumatic stress disorder over the last few years, and I'm getting a grip on it, but it's been difficult. And I noticed that a few of my friends on Facebook have also suffered. And so I thought, I think it's important that someone write a song about it. So that's what I did. I wrote a song called PSTD. And as soon as I wrote it, I thought, well, that's a blues song. So I recorded that so quickly on Monday, and then I made a film clip for it and posted it on my page. But it's, I think, a serious song, and I think it's I do that. I'll do a whole bunch of funny songs or even comical songs. I've written some funny songs like you have, but every now and then I want to write a really serious song about a serious subject, and I don't have to have permission from anyone to do it. So I do it, like the one I wrote about Gaza. I was told, don't publish that. You shouldn't do that. You don't want to upset people. Sometimes you need to say things, but I thought I'd do that one. I also did one on a friend of mine who's transgender, and they were having trouble with their family. And so I wrote him or her a song to feel good about themselves. And it was really well received by that person and really helped. And that was my aim, to help that person get through that.
Mm.
And I think the message of that song was, it's me. I'm still me. No matter what I look like, it's still me. And I'm important.
Right.
And I wanted them to feel that. So that's my new song, Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder. And the other one was called Just Me. That's, you can find on SoundCloud.
Okay, well, we'll play PTSD right now. This is PTSD by Roger Dilernia.
I've been battered and abused. You can see my scars, they're deep inside. They try to hide. It's hard to explain the pain you feel when the abuse is someone you once loved. Damage is done. It breaks my heart. Damage is done. A bruise may heal, but the fear stays with you every day. Take it from me, the fear is deep inside. Never really leaves you or gives you peace of mind. I may be scared and hurt deep inside. Teach my mind to think of other things. And I hope one day it'll be over. Take this fear away. Damage that's done breaks your heart. Damage that's done breaks your heart. I hope one day I'll be free. I hope to be free from this pain inside. Oh, please, please believe me. I will be set free.
That was PTSD by Roger Dilernia. What's your plan for the rest of the year and into next year? Are you just going to continue recording songs the same way you've been doing?
Well, I can't see any great change in the way I'm recording or writing songs, but I am trying to up my amount of songs. I'm setting myself a goal of trying to write at least one new song every 2 weeks.
Okay.
And so that I have friends of mine that come and see me perform. And I like to do something new that they haven't heard every time they come. And so some of these friends are coming quite regularly. So I'm finding myself going, uh-oh, you've heard this, you've heard this, you've heard this. So I'm thinking, to make them feel that it was worthwhile coming out to see me, I feel like I need to do a new song. So I'm trying to do that. But by the end of the year, I think I should settle down and know exactly what I want to put on the first album. But I sort of tried to put one together last year and realized I had so many tracks. The hardest thing was trying to work out which songs should be on the album, which are good. And so I thought, we'll have to play them live and find out which songs work and which ones don't. And hopefully by the end of the year, I'll have at least 12 songs that I've performed and that people have liked. And that'll give me a good idea. Just to say something, last Tuesday night, I was playing and there was this rock band, a young band. They were really, really good. They were in Pearl Jam and all that. And I went, oh my God, I got to follow these guys, one guy. So I got on stage with a determined attitude and a Vox amp behind me. And I kicked ass. It was amazing. I couldn't believe it. They gave me a standing ovation. And these are all 18 to 20-year-olds. And I'm going, oh my God, I'm appealing to the Taylor Swift fans of that age group, which I thought that's really funny at my age, which is a lot older than them. But it's good. I think if I can reach young kids today, I think I'm doing all right.
Yeah.
Because I think music should appeal to everyone from 7 to 70.
Well, yeah, not all music will, but some can, yes.
Yes, some will like, everyone says, why were the Beatles so sensitive? Well, not many bands wrote a song called Yellow Submarine. Not many bands wrote Helter Skelter, They had a very wide, I like the way the Beatles had a wide repertoire of different styles.
Absolutely.
And that's what I try to do.
Yeah.
I try to do a bit of everything because I enjoy to do a bit of everything, basically, because they were so good at it. I think that helped. I think it always helps. Give them something that they want to listen to. You never know what they're going to want.
Definitely. What was the venue that you played at on Tuesday?
Played the Guy Mia Hotel.
Oh, Guy Mia. Okay, I haven't been down there.
Yeah, it was Scotty.
Yeah, I know Scotty. I've been meaning to get there, but I always have something else on Tuesday night, so I haven't managed to get there.
He's a lovely, lovely man. Very, very. It shows you can be the most brilliant musician in the world and still be really humble and lovely. Like, I've met a lot of people in my life. I've met most of the stars that I liked. I met Bowie, I've met Paul McCartney, I've met Harrison, I've met Clapton, I've met Dylan, I've met all these people. And sometimes I even ask them for advice. So Randy Newman gave me some advice. I said, any advice you can give me? And he said, use a pencil. Use a pencil because we're always going to change the words because they never fit. We write them down, we think they're going to fit, but they don't fit. So we have to rewrite them. So it makes more sense for me to have a rubber and a pencil when he's writing. I thought, that's interesting because, sometimes we write with biros. I tend to type my stuff up. I tend to now write my stuff straight into my phone, send it to myself as an email. Then as I'm playing, I start changing the words.
Yeah.
That was Randy Newman's advice. And Lou Reed says to keep it real. Lou said, more real, better. And I thought, that's interesting. He also did tell me, everyone's got to steal a bit every now and then. I thought, really? Then I started listening to how Led Zeppelin stole a lot of ideas and even the Beatles stole a few ideas and got caught in the song Come Together. John Lennon stole a line from Chuck Berry and Paul went, that's Chuck's. And he goes, doesn't matter. I get caught. And he did get caught.
Well, they slowed it right down compared to the original, and it's only the first line of the song. But
yeah, but Chuck still sued him. And what happened was he had to pay him back by recording 2 songs of his on a rock and roll album.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it was Chuck. I think it was Morris
Was
White
it?
that actually sued him. But yes, Morris owned the copyright of the songs.
Oh, that's interesting. It's like what happened to George Harrison. George Harrison got sued for My Sweet Lord.
Yeah.
But the guy who sued him was his manager because he ended up with the right.
It was Alan Klein who also owned the rights to those songs.
That's right.
They'd all fallen out by then. And Alan Klein was feeling vengeful, I think.
I think he was. And then he ended up in jail for tax evasion.
Oh, well. Couldn't happen to a nice.
Oh, well, that's rock and roll for you.
Yeah. All right. Now, you sent me a couple of other songs, which would be great to listen to while we're still doing the interview. We haven't done Love Is Everywhere yet, have we?
Love Is Everywhere. Oh, yeah, that's a beautiful story. I was walking not long after my wife died. I had a job in Surrey Hill, and I'm walking around. It's a rain, and I look down, and there's this leaf, and it's been crushed into the pavement, and it was in the shape of a heart. So it really struck me. So I took a photograph of it, and then I posted it on Facebook. And then 10 years later, it came up, and it just gave me the idea that love is everywhere. And I remembered I met my wife on a 5-minute bus ride. I just got on for one stop, and she walked on, and I went, oh my God, I've got to talk to this lady. Sat down, talked to her, found out that she was a secretary that worked in Maroubra. I went to every place in Maroubra till I found her. And I met another girlfriend. I was in a car park going to my car, and she looked lost, and she was looking for the bus stop. So I showed her where the bus stop was, and we ended up being together for about 9 months. And it's these little moments in my life I kind of think about every now and then, thinking, what if I didn't get on that bus? What if I didn't go to the car park then? You know, and so I think love is all around us, but sometimes we stop looking and we think, oh, it's got to find us. But I think you've got to, on the other hand, be aware that it's there and just to keep looking. And invariably, most of the time, it's not in a bar. It's usually just out and about in a public library, in a park, or in a bus. And that's what the song's about, is that love is everywhere.
Oh, beautiful. All right, this is Love Is Everywhere by Roger Dilernia.
Those on the sidewalk today, I saw it there upon the floor where it laid. I wasn't going anywhere special today. Just saw a leaf in the shape of a heart in my way. It didn't mean much to the people passing by, but maybe it was a sign. Love is everywhere. If they look around, it's there. Love is everywhere if you look around. I was feeling a little down, so I thought I'd take a walk around. When I saw this little sign of a heart-shaped leaf on the ground, like that little leaf, my heart's been walked on and ignored. That little shaped heart, leaf on the floor. Love is everywhere. If you look around, it's there. Love is everywhere. You look around, and it's there. Just take a look around and see what you can find. Love is on the faces of the people going round. They're passing you on the streets today. For love is everywhere you will find. Yeah, yeah. Love is everywhere. If you look around, it's there. Love is everywhere. Take a look around. Take a look around.
That was Love is Everywhere by Roger Dilernia. You're listening to Radio Northern Beaches 88.7 and 90.3. My name's Russell Neal, and the show is called Songs on Air. And I'm interviewing Roger, and we're talking about some of his beautiful songs that he has written and that he's performing around Sydney at various venues. And he is on SoundCloud.
I'm thinking of going to BandCloud, and a friend of mine, Clive Lockley, has just started a new musical venture where he's asked me to join. So I'm looking into that as well. A whole bunch of friends are already on that. These are people that play at the Marble Bar on Monday night.
Okay.
A lot of those sort of people, sort of jazz heavyweights in Sydney.
All right. Well, yeah, let us know about that venture with Clive. That might be something I would be happy to promote on this show.
Sydney-based, and it'll help Sydney artists. I think that's the idea behind it.
Very cool. All right, what else have we got here? Sunday Morning Next to Me.
Okay, Sunday Morning Next to Me. I literally wake up an hour before my girlfriend does, and I sit there looking at her and reading the news. And one morning I just woke up and I was just like very romantic, and it just hit me, and I just sat there in bed writing that song before she woke up. And I thought, this is a moment people never talk about, you know, those simple moments when you wake up, you look, you want to kiss them good morning, but they're still asleep. You don't want to disturb them, but you just feel like, oh, I love this person, and you'd like to kiss them, but you can't because they're still asleep. So being the romantic I am, I just wrote this song about that feeling that you have in the mornings.
Okay, let's listen to Sunday Morning Next to Me by Roger Dilernia.
Lying next to me, next to me. I hold you a little closer next to me. I've fallen back to sleep. I dream of you, dream of you. It's Sunday morning, and the sun comes in. You're lying next to me. It's Sunday morning. I wanna hold you close. I never wanna let you go. 'Cause Monday morning you'll be flying off to work.
All right, that was Sunday Morning Next to Me by Roger Dilernia. Great song, Roger. Thank you.
I always try to think of something original, something that no one else has done, or something that I haven't heard. I've heard a lot. So I kind of get a feeling that I've heard most, like, I've got about 6,000 albums. I don't know if I've ever told you, but 6,000 albums, 15,000 CDs in my music collection. I got a whole room just of music, and I've heard quite a lot. But I think that's the hardest bit we have today, is trying to write something original, because everything's just about being done. It's so hard. I think a lot of artists can use different sounds and different technical tricks, but in the end, when you're writing a song, it's about the words and what you're writing about. And we still write about love. We still write about loss. We still write about what makes us angry. But just finding new ways of saying it is the trick, I think.
Indeed. It is tricky trying to find an edge to a song, an original idea, either in the music or in the lyrics, because, as you say, so much of it's been said before.
Yeah, and it's like a real cliche if we do it and don't think about it. We have to really think about it, that it's been done. But it's a process that you should never try to control. I've noticed Paul McCartney saying, like, it comes to you. I said, I'll just sit there and fiddle away, and then it'll come to you. And I've also heard other musicians talk about it. And I think one of my favorite persons and musicians is Tori Amos. I've met her quite a few times. And Tori has this belief that she has these muses that connect with her, and that's where the music comes from. And I kind of think that's what happened to Paul McCartney when he was asleep and he had Yesterday come to him. We sometimes get these things all at once, all together, the whole thing, the music, the words, everything. And it's not like we even think about it. It's almost like we're a vessel for something out there. And I like the way she describes it. She says, I'm just a vessel for these muses where these songs are coming through. And I didn't know I was going to write a song about that. I didn't know. It just comes all at once. And I wrote a song called Bob Dylan Walks into a Bar. And in that song, the guy asked him, how did you write a song? And I said, Bob Dylan says to him, well, songs like lightning. There's a storm. You know there's going to be lightning, but you don't know when and where. But you've got to be quick to grab it. And I think that's what happens when you have those sort of songs. You've got to be quick to write them down. I'm sure, Russell, you've had those moments when an idea hits you at the worst time, usually just before you go to sleep and you don't have a pad and pencil, or some other time when you can't do anything about it. But if you don't write it down and don't do something about it, it will go.
Yeah, I've had lots of ideas, and sometime later I thought, what was that idea I just had a little while ago? And it's gone.
Yeah, it's funny.
And you maybe remember what it was about, but not what it was. It's not the same thing.
Yeah, and sometimes you get a whole line or two, don't you? I do. Maybe I had a whole line or two, and I'm writing this song. I'm walking through the shopping center writing, and I go, what was that line? I got distracted, and it's gone.
Yeah. Well, you've sent me Bob Dylan Walks into a Bar, so why don't we listen to that one?
Yeah, I like that song.
Yeah, it's a little different from your typical love song, I guess. So it's sort of what we were talking about regarding putting like a fresh angle on each song that you write.
Yeah, typically, if you said to me, what is it? It's a story song, like Dylan does, and what Bruce Springsteen does. He'll take a situation like Down by the River and talks about a young couple. It's a story about a young couple, and Bob Dylan writes the same too. He doesn't write stories about John Wesley Hardington or something. He'll write a real story song. And so when I wrote that, it was sort of like a story. And because I've had sort of some background in movie and theatre and film, I just sort of pictured it all in my head. And I thought, that'd be an interesting story. What would you say to Bob Dylan if you ever bumped into him and you're a songwriter? You've got to ask him how. And I've seen him being asked that question. He said, and he talked about a song that he wrote in 1964, and he said, I can't write those songs anymore. I don't know how I did that. It just came to, and it just came to him.
All right, let's listen to Bob Dylan Walks into a Bar by Roger Dilernia.
was sitting in a bar. Young man walks up to him and sits right down. Sits right down. I really hate to bother you. But can I ask one question? I'll be on my way. On my way. He said, make it quick. I ain't got too much time to spend. Man, he looked up at him and started to shake. Started to shake. How do you write a perfect song? Where does it come from? In your head? In your head? The sound is like lightning in a storm. You feel it's gonna strike, but you don't know where and when. Can blind you with its beauty, deafen you with its sound. There's no controlling lightning in a storm. In a storm. Once it hits you, you gotta be quick before it fades away. And if you're really clever and quick, and catch it before it goes away, you'll have a song from beginning to end. Beginning to end. Young man froze on the spot as Dylan paid the waiter and left the bar. That bright young man ran all the way home. Started to ride, worked all night till dawn. When he was finished, he had 10 songs of his own. Of his own. Moral of the story, moral of the song. If you want to write a song, you gotta catch lightning in a storm. You want to write a song, catch lightning in a storm. In a storm.
That was Bob Dylan Walks Into a Bar by Roger Dilernia. You're listening to Radio Northern Beaches 88.7 and 90.3. This show is Songs on Air, and my name's Russell Neal, and I'm interviewing Roger about some of his songs. So I guess just to sum up, if people want to listen to your music, they can listen to you on SoundCloud, and that's just under your name, Roger Dilernia, is that right?
Yes, but SoundCloud's just Roger Dilernia,
and
home of Roger D Music on YouTube.
All right, folks, so you can listen to Roger on those places, and you can come and see him perform at my open mic nights, often at the Dunkirk on Mondays, and various other gigs. And if you want to get my newsletter to find out where you can see Roger and lots of other talented people, just email me at songsonstage@gmail.com. Thank you very much for coming along, Roger.
It's been my pleasure, as always, Russell.
Well, yeah, always great to see you and listen to your songs. And this show will be repeated on Monday, 1 till 2 p.m, unless you're listening to the repeat right now, but it's broadcast first on Tuesdays, 4 till 5 p.m, then repeated the following Monday, 1 till 2 p.m. Thank you very much for listening, everybody, and thanks again to Roger for being my special guest today, and we'll see you all next week. Thank you and goodbye. And we have just enough time for a quick station identification, brought to you by Men with Day Jobs, Stafford Sanders and Rod Crunwell.
Beachside music is flowing free on 88.7 and 903. It's the sound of my community. I know I'm running with the flow. I got my place to go. Northern Beaches Radio.
This has been Russell Neal on my show Songs on Air. Listen in next week. Bye for now.